When MSI agreed to take us out to CES, sponsor our trip, cover accommodation and travel, I guessed that they'd probably have a fair bit of stuff, but I had no idea the amount of things that they're showing off at CES 2020. This is the world's first mini LED screen in a laptop. So we've got a basic demonstration here, two of their creator laptops, one with a normal screen and then one with a super bright HDR 1000 mini LED display. And I almost broke that. And the first thing that really actually surprised me is the fact that the screen size doesn't get any bigger or any thicker. So the difference in detail between the two displays is so noticeable. I mean, I think that's a big understatement, really. So you get much brighter brights, much darker darks, but you still retain the details within the highlights and the shadows. So it's not only a more impactful image with increased saturation, brightness, and all of that detail, but it's just a lot more striking. And while I think this would definitely impact battery life, this is something you're probably going to want to use plugged in, it's very exciting because you think this may well be only on a high-end creator laptop that's probably outside the reach of a lot of people at the moment. This technology is going to trickle down into more mainstream laptops, and it's really, really exciting. That's not the only laptop on show though, and we've got two up to 300 Hertz displays. So we've got not only super bright displays over there, but over on the gaming side, you can get increased responsiveness for better reaction times. And yes, not every game is going to work at 300 Hertz, let's be honest, but if you do play things like Dota or CS, then this could well be the laptop for you. MSI seem to have come on a long way as well in terms of laptop chassis design, because this feels really nice and premium, it looks great, it feels like something that actually reflects the price. This is a very premium and good feeling laptop. But you get it in two options. So this is the GS66 Stealth, whereas you also have the GE66. You get a special edition as well in this. It's not Star Wars, but it's like a spaceshipy design. I don't have enough hands. Which I think is probably arguably one of the best laptops I've ever seen in terms of actually overall look and aesthetic. It's not going to be for everyone. This one doesn't power on, maybe it's out of battery, I don't know. But I mean, who wouldn't want to carry that around? This doesn't just scream, I'm a gamer, it screams, I have a good sense of aesthetic. But that's enough about laptops. Let's talk about monitors. And the one that probably strikes me the most in terms of, I was going to say usefulness, but maybe just the thing that stands out in general for being a little bit different to what we've seen before, is this. And I confess I will have to read the model name because it's too long. MSI, I don't know what you're doing there. It's called the Optix MAG 342CQR. No idea what any of that stands for. But the main thing about this is that it has a curve radius of 1000R. And MSI say that this is because it's the most natural curve and the one that sort of matches your peripheral vision the most. And if you hold your hand out and you move it from left to right, then it's going to be an equal distance from the screen at all times. And to my eyes, it does look a fair bit more natural, I'd say, than a lot of curved displays. So some I've used have been too curved, over curved, some not enough. Whereas for gaming, I think this probably is going to be in the right sweet spot. It's maybe not going to be quite so good for productivity when you're working with straight lines, but I'm very keen to test this one out. Over the other side of the room, we have something a little bit different. This is more aimed at creators. And immediately, I just want to say well done to MSI because they have a hood that goes on and off. Probably can do it with one hand. It literally just sticks on. I've seen solutions from Acer that sort of tack on and it takes ages. I mean, there you go, did that with one hand, nice and easy. But the thing with this one that's quite interesting is that you get it in a choice of two SKUs. So both are 32 inches, and I think they both use IPS panels with 99% of Adobe RGB, 95% of DCI-P3, so excellent for color grading and things like that. But you get it in the choice of 165 Hz 1440p panel that you could still use for all of your productivity needs, and you can do your color editing, grading, all of that stuff, but then play games when you want to play games. Or if you are just a die-hard creator, then you'll pick up the 4K panel. It's only 60 Hz, but that probably doesn't really bother you because you're not doing that much in the gaming department, but it's great to have the flexibility. You can see I really wasn't lying when I said that there's a lot of stuff on offer here. This is a huge room, loads of products, and this was the first one I saw. And immediately, let's address the elephant in the room. This is not the first portable display that has been announced to be on the market, because ASUS did this last year. I think it was Computex, maybe Gamescom, got a chance to go hands-on with their display. But the thing with that is that it was 240 Hertz, which is excellent in terms of specs, but I'm not really sure it's necessary for a portable display. I would have thought that you'd probably want your main laptop or computer display to be 240 Hertz and then maybe have like a 60 Hertz one that goes on the side. And that's exactly what MSI are doing here. So this is 1080p, 60 Hertz, works over USB-C, and there are going to be other versions as well. So I think they're potentially looking at a 120, but then maybe also like a 144, 165. All of that stuff is in production. And they're obviously going to work that out depending on, I guess, on what sells. Checking out MSI's super sweet setup, we've got their new flagship monitor, flagship system, I can't pronounce this. It's the MEG Aegis TI5, the Idris Elba TI5, that's probably a better name. I don't know why they didn't use that. Anyway, I'll start with the thing that excites me the most, which is this super wide monitor, because we've actually got some additional functionality down the bottom. This can give you a live readout of things like CPU temperatures, and it's a way of having your game open, playing your game, and if something goes amiss, or if you just want to maybe monitor clock speeds or temperatures and things, then you should be able to get them on this display, which is quite cool. This is still quite new, so functionality probably will be a little bit limiting at first, but this is only going to get better as time goes on. The fact is, you've now got a monitor with the hardware in it, which I think is quite exciting. In terms of the monitor specifications, well, we've got VISA's HDR 600 standard, which isn't the absolute best out there. We're now looking at monitors that are around about 1400 if you do want the very best gaming HDR experience, but this is still going to be better than most. Moving across to the Idris Elba though, this has been in development for quite a long time. We've seen a few different iterations over the years. I've checked this out myself. And we have a screen on the front, just like we do on the monitor. They're calling this, I think it's HMI is the name of the overall ecosystem. So everything sort of connects to each other and talks to each other. But at the very least, you again get things like the CPU frequencies, temperatures, all of that good stuff on screen. You can cycle through the different lighting options as well as a gaming mode, so you can set up different profiles from different games. As for the raw specifications of this thing, well, it's a super high-end PC. You can get it with up to a 2080 Ti graphics card, so the best you can currently buy right now. I like the fact that you do get Thunderbolt support out of the box, which you don't actually see with a whole lot of systems, and if you do want to build one yourself, it's still quite difficult because you have to find a very specific motherboard that actually supports that. So it's good to see. You get 4 chambers inside. Not quite sure how useful that is. That's on the specification sheet, and they were making a big sort of hoo-ha about it. But then again, I think the human heart has 4 chambers, so I don't know. Does that make it good? There's even more creative things, this time in case flavor or enclosure flavor, however you want to say PC case. It's again quite flexible. So at the front, you don't have that much airflow, but you've got this sound dampening material, but it's got a door that doesn't automatically close, so you can just open it as much as you like. They tell me that the glass is actually 2 panes thick, and this is the same sort of engineering that goes into skyscrapers. Not really sure what that means, but okay, so it's going to give you better sound dampening, but you don't have any sound dampening material at the top, which is a little bit confusing to me, like why put it there and not at the top, but I've fed this back, so hopefully you either get better airflow at the top or you get better sound dampening. I think it makes sense to do one or the other. Some cool tech, and I've definitely never made that joke before, is with their new all-in-one liquid cooler. So I guess, like ASUS, it seems that companies like MSI are wanting to get their fingers in more pies, shall we say, so that you can have a complete PC build from one brand. But this is quite unique, and it stands out actually. You might not realize it at first. I mean, we've got a few unique, or I should say more flexible features, like you can turn the logo around 180 degrees if you want to use it in an inverted build, or maybe 90 degrees. But let's be honest, that's not really that interesting. The thing that's special about this liquid cooler is that, unlike pretty much every single one on the market, the pump is actually inside the radiator. And the benefits of this remain to be seen, I guess. I mean, it does free up a little bit of space and means that the actual pump, or not pump, the actual heads unit can be a little bit smaller, but MSI are telling me that this might help a little bit with, like, say, noise reduction, because you can move this across to somewhere where you're maybe not going to hear it, or it's going to reduce vibrations. This is something I'm quite interested to test, but something that I'm actually really proud to say that the channel was helped with, because I had in no way any input in actually designing this case, but they tell me that this was as a direct result of some of the feedback that I gave at Computex last year, because this is a PC case from MSI. But as you can see, there is a lot of airflow. You've got mesh on the front and on the top, and they say that this is because I told them that their previous lot of cases didn't really have great airflow. I wanted to see one that did, and here we go. So this is quick turnaround. Maybe they're just flattering me, or I don't know, trying to make me feel more involved than I actually am and more important. Anyway, I really like this. Not only does it have quite a cool, interesting design, it reminds me of sort of like Corsair's spec range, but I think it's pretty sleek as well. It's not too over the top. I mean, there's no crazy color here. You've just got a nice front panel design where you've got some curved edges, or I should say straight lines, that give you that sort of like edgy look. But you're not going to have to worry about having good temperatures, because you can fit radiators at the front, at the top, and you're going to get great airflow. But the thing for me that is really impressive about this, not only the fact that you do get tempered glass included, but all of this for around about £50. £50 for a case that not only accommodates all of your airflow, accommodates all of your hardware, but also gives you great airflow. I think that's excellent. Let me know what you think of all of these MSI products. I told you there were a lot. I wasn't lying. Which one is your favorite? Does any of this grab you as really smart thinking and good ideas? Don't forget to actually like this video if you have enjoyed it. It really does help out. Get subscribed as well. Check out the rest of the CES 2020 coverage. It really helps me out, and hopefully it'll be interesting for you. But thank you so much for checking this out. Thanks again to MSI for bringing us out here. I'll see you in the next one.